You know, one of the things that I'm on about a lot on this channel is that we as a society, and this is not just in the United States of America, as you'll find out today, it's in the entire Western world, are catering more and more towards the criminal while ignoring the victim. Now, I've been making fun of this for a couple of days now on this channel, but a perfect example was the video that I did previously, where we actually had somebody argue that carjackers, people who stick a gun in somebody's face and force them out of their car Grand Theft Auto style, are only doing so because dealers mark up the price of used cars and they just need to get to the grocery store. Now look, that level of absurdity is understandable from the online left. It's what we've come to expect from people who genuinely believe that communism will definitely work the next time we try it. However, things are a lot different when you start to hear these kind of pro-criminal attitudes from the police themselves, and we have to look no further than our northern neighbors, because police in Quebec have recently issued a warning to people who post videos of thieves stealing packages from their front porch, not to the thieves themselves. And that's what we're going to get into today. But before we do, this video is sponsored, so let me toss it to the sponsor, then we'll bring it back over here and we'll talk about it on the other side. Serious question for the guys out there in the audience. Why are you walking around carrying this big, hulking, uncomfortable to sit on thing in your back pocket each and every day when there's something so much better out there for you? What I want you to do is throw that thing away. Get it out of here. It's garbage. It's nonsense, and get yourself an Exter wallet. For those of you unfamiliar with the company, Exter is known for being the first company to make a trackable wallet. These wallets are half the size of your standard wallet. They hold 12 cards, they hold your cash, they hold everything, and they're RFID blocking. On top of that, just check this out. Pops up your cards in a split second, looks sleek, looks wonderful, and it's made of all sustainable materials. You got space grade aluminum here and vegan Italian leather. You can't do better than that. And this one right here is their Parliament wallet. I absolutely love it. The color's slick, the material feels absolutely amazing, and you're in luck because right now Exter is running an amazing sale. Go to partner.exter.com/actualjusticewarrior and use the promo code actualjustice. On top of that, all purchases over $90, for those of you out there in my audience, are going to come with a free cash clip. Can't beat that deal. Support the channel, support your backside, you know you're hurting, with that hulking wallet, and get yourself something slick that's going to make the heads churn. Bam, cards out yet again.
A warning about porch pirates in Canada is getting a lot of attention, but not for what you might think. Police in Quebec issued a warning to victims, saying that posting videos of things being stolen could violate the privacy of the thieves. Yeah, I said that right. Needless to say, that message has not gone over well. It's sparking a fierce backlash on social media. Canadian police say if anyone has video evidence of a crime, it should be turned over to investigators.
So chances are you've seen these videos before. People coming up onto people's property, taking their package and leaving. In fact, this has become so common that a popular subgenre on YouTube is people booby-trapping the packages for potential thieves so that when they grab them, they either explode in a glitter ball or some such thing like that. Well, obviously, these people are stealing these packages. When the homeowner, who's right there with the surveillance video, uploads that on the internet.com, what you are meant to recognize is that this is a thief in action. Now, while that would be a sensible interpretation of what the purpose of putting these videos on the internet.com is actually for, Canada is not a sensible country. Canada is not a country that respects law and order. Canada is a weird place where people infuse maple syrup directly into their body, where we only get YouTubers that are female named Lauren from, and comedians like Jim Carrey, and that kind of craziness appears to have infected their government, because apparently the crime being shown here when you see one of those videos is not the person stealing the package. It is in fact the person posting the video violating the privacy of the person seeking the package. And it's not just this local news report that makes the case for Canada's arguments. It's actually the police themselves, those tasked with stopping the criminals, that are very upset about the fact that you are showing people committing crimes, which will lead to identifying these people, which could help prevent future crimes and ultimately end up stopping the criminals, because that's their job, supposedly.
You cannot post the images yourself, because you have to remember that in Canada we have a presumption of innocence. And posting that picture could be a violation of private life.
Now look, to be clear, to those of you out there in the audience, I'm in favor of due process. I know that is a bold stance. I know that is very controversial out here on the internet.com, but I'm also in favor of the presumption of innocence. However, let's make something 100% clear. This in no way, shape, or form is a violation of the presumption of innocence. Video of you committing the crime being published to the public to warn them of your criminal behavior does not in any way, shape, or form make you guilty until proven innocent. And it for damn sure does not violate the privacy of the criminal. You know what you can do if you want to maintain your private life? Not go onto somebody else's property in order to steal their package. That way, you won't be caught by surveillance cameras that are in and around their porch. This is an absurdity from the Canadian police. This is ridiculous and asinine, and I think this is due in large part to the fact that the Canadian police, because the nation of Canada is ultra woke, it's like American progressives on steroids over there with Justin Trudeau, that they don't like who is actually being pictured in this video, but they don't want to outright make it a hate crime, so instead they're saying it's a violation of the criminal's privacy. Absolutely absurd and ridiculous and insane.
Instead, he says if anything is stolen, call 911.
If you get some proof that somebody might have stolen something, then call the police, give the proof to the police, and then we'll do the investigation. We'll bring that person to justice and we'll file some charges.
Yeah, I gotta be perfectly honest with you guys out there in the audience. This cop right here, not a fan of him, not into it, don't like it, not gonna have a beer with him, not gonna endorse him in any way, shape, or form, and that is basically because of the way that he phrased that particular sentence. Now, obviously, if you have evidence of a crime, you should report that crime so that the police can investigate, so that the police can make an arrest, but the way he said, if you have evidence of people maybe stealing packages, like they might have stolen something, when we're seeing surveillance video of people, I assure you, definitely stealing stuff,
You get some proof that somebody might have stolen something.
really goes to show you that his priorities and his headspace is all wrong. It's all out of whack, and it's absolutely insane. Unless this guy actually believes that through a police investigation, they're going to discover that these people aren't actually thieves, and the homeowners who are missing their packages aren't actually missing their packages. What actually went on is that the homeowner tricked this person into borrowing the package without permission and no intention to return it in the future, and therefore the homeowner is the real criminal. I think we can safely say that this person right here is in fact a thief. They are in fact in the act of stealing a package. Now, whether or not a person arrested for the crime is that person is what we have the presumption of innocence for. That's what we have trials and juries and all of that. But the idea that you have to suppress the evidence of crime because it might make this particular police officer look bad, or it might make the policies of the Canadian government as a whole more broadly look bad, really does not concern me. It's not an issue that I am focusing on or interested in. And the idea that you will go out of your way to not look for the thief, to not take the harder path and track these people down and hold them accountable, and instead will decide to criminalize those exposing Canada, exposing the thieves, exposing what's going on in your country, and say, well, if you post this on social media, we got the social media cops over in Canada monitoring for evil hate speech, and I guess exposing criminals is in that category, then we're gonna arrest you, we're gonna charge you for the invasion of privacy of that particular individual. Who is that particular individual? We don't know, because we don't actually arrest people for stealing packages off your property. So the privacy of the suspect of the theft that definitely occurred, we're gonna protect their rights more than the rights of the citizen to express themselves and share this information. And by the way, expression, make no mistake, is what this is all about. This would not fly in the United States of America. Don't get me wrong. They would definitely try something like this in the progressive cities across this country, but the First Amendment would stop that cold in its tracks. This would not be allowed. It would not be permitted. This is why sometimes you'll see certain news agencies choosing to blur the images of suspects, but in reality, in actuality, you can't force that to be true because we have the First Amendment. Now, we don't often talk on this channel about the lack of free speech protections in the nation of Canada, but this is a picture-perfect example of how not having a First Amendment in your country can impact the citizenry in ways that you couldn't even possibly imagine. Exposing criminals should be protected speech. Getting the word out that your neighborhood is under threat, getting the word out that you should watch out for somebody matching this description should be perfectly normal. But according to the Canadian police, describing a criminal, showing evidence of a criminal, saying a criminal is on the loose violates the privacy of the criminal. So let that fugitive from justice do whatever they want, and let's see them uphold these standards when they're looking for a kidnapper or a murderer or whatever. I mean, again, they might have kidnapped somebody, but they might have actually just decided to borrow the child without the parents' consent, with no intention to return, and possibly the intention of ransoming or killing that child. We don't know. We don't want to get into the private life of the thief, and if you report that your child was kidnapped, if you describe the suspect to the media, then Officer Dumbass right here will come to your house and arrest you, because how dare you ever in your life violate the presumption of innocence of the person who has hold of your child or your package, or is accused of committing a crime where you have overwhelming evidence that they did in fact do so. You're wrong, you're the criminal, the law-abiding citizen is the problem, and that's where we're at in the nation of Canada. But hey, those are just my thoughts. That's just my opinions. That's just my desire to violate the privacy of our sacred thieves who are stealing packages in order to feed their starving children. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you like this video, then show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on all my social medias, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the Canadian police being absurd and ridiculous. Till next time.